Now, let me use spatial triangle to show you how can I easily solve for the answer quickly by my shortcut. So this is first I draw a unit circle. And then first question, arcsine function, arcsine 1/2. I can use my concept from the spatial triangle. I know this is 30 degrees or pi/6. Or you can use calculator. Calculator, remember, you need to go to your mode and decide you want to use radian or you want to use degree. Okay, radian calculator will give you pi/6 and degree will give you 30 degrees. Now on the unit circle, I draw this triangle here. So this is 1/2. This is 1. This is 1/2. And this will be 30 degrees or pi/6. So I can easily find my first group of solution, pi/6 plus minus 2n pi. So I'm halfway done. Where is the other angle? The other angle, I want to have positive, right? Positive 1/2. Where is another positive 1/2? So I use this color to match my graph here. So you have 1 and 1/2. And where is the angle? This big. How big this angle is? It's almost the pi, but not the pi yet. This is pi, right? But here is not a pi. So I will say this angle is pi minus pi/6. Because the reference angle here, now you see why I introduce what's the reference angle. Why the reference angle is so important. So this angle is pi minus pi/6, which is 5 pi/6. And then you plus minus 2n pi, you are done. Okay, so one more time, you find the arcsine. Use calculator or use concept. Basically, it is the reference angle. Okay, here, pi/6. And then you have first group. And the second group, you draw the picture to see, okay, the other angle will be on the quadrant 2. And it's almost pi, just a little bit, not yet. So you use pi minus pi/6. That's the formula, but I don't use formula. I use concept. If you need the formula, I have the formula here for you, okay? So the reference angle, pi/6, and this is arcsine, pi/6, okay? And the other group will be pi minus pi/6, or pi minus arcsine. That's the formula. And remember, the arcsine, we only choose pi/6. We don't choose 5 pi/6. But your solution need to include both groups, pi/6 and 5 pi/6 plus minus 2n pi. Okay? So arcsine won't provide you both group. Arcsine will only provide you first group. And then that's your job to find second group. To find second group. And this one, you can use arcsine. Okay? So this is when the input is positive. How about the input is negative? Same thing, we can do it quickly here. I draw a unit circle, and this time I need a negative. So negative, where I can have negative here, right? And also here, negative 1/2. This negative 1/2. So the angle obviously will be negative angle. And how do I know it's negative pi over 6? Because the spatial triangle, or you can use the arcsine, use calculator, they will give you negative pi over 6. Okay, now how about the other angle? The other angle, the other group, right? The other group, you can say this one, or you can say this one. That's all your choice, doesn't matter. But for me, I always choose the smaller value of the angle. So I would like to use negative angle. So how you calculate the negative angle? This is almost a negative pi here. So I will say negative pi and the plus back pi over 6. Or you can say negative pi, take away negative pi over 6. If you want to create a formula with arc sine negative 1/2. Okay, so that's why I say use formula is more complicated. I would directly just use my concept. Negative pi and the plus back pi over 6, so I will have negative 5 pi over 6. Negative 5 pi over 6 actually is negative pi. Is talking about formula. I have a formula in the end, but right now I don't want to confuse the class to introduce the formula, because my whole key point here is how you can quickly use my shortcut to find the answer. So you find one answer is negative pi over 6. This answer came from arcsine, so 2n pi. Sorry, not here. Okay. So you have one answer is negative pi over 6 plus minus 2n pi. And the other one is negative 5 pi over 6 plus minus 2n pi. Then you are done. You don't bother to use any formula. If you want to use formula, wow, it will be, let me show you, okay? Here, okay. So remember, this one is negative pi over 6. So when you want to create a formula, this is negative pi over 6. Take away negative pi, take away negative pi over 6. It becomes negative pi plus pi over 6. So it will be negative pi distribute plus theta. Too complicated, right? So let's not talk about formula. And the formula is here. Okay. So one thing I want to mention is this theta is pi over 6. This one is negative pi over 6. It's different. That's why I make the formula very complicated. If I say negative pi minus arcsine y, then it will be wrong. You need to change it to plus if you want to match negative something. Okay. So that's extra thing I want to talk about. Again, arcsine, the result is not the negative 5 pi over 6. It's negative pi over 6. That's not your choice. But you can have second group for your choice. And you do need to solve for x with two group. Group 1 and group 2. Okay, so this the conclusion for sine, and you can read through. I already talked about that. So again, I want to emphasize hint. Formulas for other trigonometry functions are different. I do not solve by using formulas. Instead, I use reference angles on unit circle and use concept to solve the answer. And don't forget plus minus 2n pi for general solution. Sometimes they don't ask you for general solution. If they don't ask you for general solutions, then you don't plus minus 2n pi. Depends on what they want. Sometimes they ask you to find answer from negative pi to pi. Sometimes they ask you to find answer from negative 4 pi to positive 4 pi. Who knows? So you only need to choose the answer from there. That type of the questions, I will show you how to do it on how to choose the answer without formulas from the range they ask you to find the angles. Okay, that's just calculating questions. I show you step-by-step detail on our homework, so it's not too hard. As long as you are able to find the general solution, then you are able to find special solution always. That's not a big deal. Next, same idea. We are talking about the cosine function and the arc cosine function. So same thing, I just want to quickly show you how I can find the answer. Okay, so unit circle, and where I can have square root 3 over 2 for cosine. My triangle is here, and here square root of 3 over 2 is here. So this angle, again, 30 degree or pi over 6. You can use calculator to find this pi over 6 or 30 degree. So by this way, you have one group, first group of solution easily. Then where is the second group? Second group, because you need a positive. Oh, sorry, second group is not here, right? Did I do any mistake there? Oh, let me see. Negative, yes. And yes, sine function positive is on quadrant 1 and the quadrant 2. And when you have negative value, then you have on the quadrant 3 and the quadrant 4. Now when you go to cosine, positive value is here. So both positive 30 degree and the negative 30 degree, they share the same cosine value, square root 3 over 2. So my next answer will be negative positive over 6 plus minus 2n pi. I will say I'm done. Right? I'm done. If you want to make a formula, again, it's more complicated. You can say formula is arc sine square root of 3 over 2, and this will be negative arc sine square root of 3 over 2. Not too hard, but it's okay. But when you go to, so I show you the formula. Okay, again, arc cosine. Arc cosine, you don't use this angle, but when you find the general solution, you need to use both angles. Okay. So this is the solution for arc cosine. I think I probably mentioned arc sine. That's not arc cosine. Okay. the solution for cosine. Solve for cosine function. When you want to solve for cosine function, actually I need to say cosine x. I make it very complicated. Okay, cosine function. The solution for cosine x equal to square root over 3. You have two groups of solutions. One positive, one negative. But when you go to cosine x equals to negative, so again, it's better I just write down cosine. I don't know why I write down so complicated. It's a negative. So same thing, you can use a calculator. They will tell you the answer is, if I memorize right, is 5 pi over 6. You can use calculator to double check. Okay, so let me draw my unit circle. And remember, we have pi over 6 as a reference angle here. Right now, I want the negative square root of 3 over 2. Negative square root of 3 over 2 need to be here. Negative square root of 3 over 2. Here is positive, right? On the right hand side, you have positive square root of 3 over 2. And right now, we need the negative square root of 3 over 2. So the angle will be this big. Okay, so remember this is pi minus pi over 6, which is 5 pi over 6. Because the same reference angle here, pi over 6, pi over 6. So pi and minus pi over 6. So you have 5 pi over 6. Therefore, your first group of solution will be 5 pi over 6 plus minus 2n pi. And how about next group? Next group will be here. So next group, you want to use next angle, negative angle, or you want to use positive angle. Here I will tell you, I would like to use negative angle because you can see that there's a positive 5 pi over 2, this negative 5 pi over, positive 5 pi over 6 here, and you have negative 5 pi over 6. So you have negative 5 pi over 6 plus minus 2n pi. Then you are done. And if you want to make a formula, again, because involve negative numbers, so it's more complicated. But anyway, our arc cosine, we choose 5 pi over 6. We don't choose negative 5 pi over 6. But when you solve for the x, solve for x, in general, you need to provide both group of the solutions. Okay. So last one, before last one, same thing. The conclusion, you can read the document. That's all the same thing in the earlier, you show it earlier. So next is tangent. Tangent, on the formula, only one group. Okay, only one group of the solution, but because this is the first time we do tangent. So in the beginning, I will show you two groups. And then after I'm done, I will go back to show you. After you understand, then I will show you just one group. Okay? So tangent, same thing. You can see my picture. My picture is using an outside triangle. This triangle is outside the unit circle because this is for tangent. If you watch my extra credit video for chapter 4, I put on the canvas also. Okay, in order to easily visualize the length of the tangent value, then you have to draw a tangent triangle, and the one is here. No longer, the one is no longer on the hypotenuse, and then this height will be the tangent value. Okay, so let me erase those marks. Okay, so here, if you remember tangent is sine x over cosine x. Therefore, if tangent value is positive, then either positive over positive or negative over negative. Okay, so if you have positive over positive, this is sine, cosine, right? And this negative over negative, this is sine, this is cosine. Roughly, not exactly sine cosine value, okay? I mean this, I don't suppose say sine cosine, okay? Just, I suppose to say right over wrong or y over x, yeah, okay. So it's better to say in the coordinate system. So here I can say sine over cosine, that's not wrong, okay? But in the value is positive y, positive x, or negative y, negative x, that's better. This is y, this is x, this is y, this is x, that's better. So perfect, okay? So you have two triangles, and your reference angle is here, is pi over 6. Again, you can use calculator. They will give you pi over 6. Okay. And this actually is the arcsine value. So you can have your first group of solution, which is pi over 6 plus minus 2n pi. And the other group, you can see that with the same reference angle, you happen to have pi plus pi over 6, or you can say that pi over 6 plus pi. So another angle will be pi over 6 plus pi, and then plus minus 2n pi. So you have 7 pi over 6 plus minus 2n pi. Now I say these two answers can combine become one answer. Okay, because between 2n pi you have pi, right? Plus pi. So your answer can combine to become, let me show you, very special. Pi over 6 plus n pi. Because once you find your arctangent, when you find your arctangent, then the angle is pi over 6. You find one angle and you plus pi, you have another angle. And if you plus pi, you go back to original coterminal angle. Okay, so because this concept is very interesting, so and it's important for you learn how to combine two answers in one answer. So your two groups will be, let me choose a good color, okay? Let me choose red color. So first angle is pi over 6. That's the first group. And the second group, you plus pi, you are going to land on the second group, which is 7 pi over 6. Okay? For the tangent function. And then if you plus another pi, you are going to land at a coterminal angle with pi over 6. And then you plus one more pi, you have the coterminal angles with 7 pi over 6. So therefore, you may combine these two, become pi over 6 plus minus n pi. Okay, so next time, when you are dealing with the tangent, you can just use one group of the solution. So let me show you when you have a negative questions, negative square root 3 over 3. Let me see. Okay. Okay, so for the positive angles, same thing, you don't choose 7 pi over 6. All right? And you have only one group. You say, teacher, can I still write down two groups? I won't say these two groups are wrong, but you have not finished yet. You have not finished your test yet. Why? When you provide your test solution to your teacher, you need to simplify your answer. So I will say this answer is not simplified yet. If you are able to simplify your answer, then you combine your two groups to become one group. So instead of plus minus 2n pi, I will ask you to plus minus n pi only. Okay? You combine these two, become one group. Make sense? Okay, so next, once you learn the concept, so tangent, if you have negative, you have this one, negative, positive, negative become negative. And the other one here, negative, positive is negative. So you have two angles here. So your first angle will be negative pi over 6. And the second group will be plus pi. So therefore, this one is negative pi over 6 for sure for the arctangent. And this one, this time, I will use just one group, plus minus n pi. Okay, so when you plus 1 pi, the odd number pi, you have second group. And then, if you plus one more pi, you plus even number, you have 2 pi. So 1 pi, and then another pi, you have 2 pi, right? So 1 pi, 2 pi, 1 pi, 2 pi, keep going. Basically, you have plus minus n pi. So our picture here, basically, you just pi. So pi over 6 plus pi. You have second group. Therefore, it's very easy. You can combine two groups in one by using plus minus n pi. So the formula, same thing. Arctangent, we don't use negative 7 pi over 6. And this time we only need one group. You don't need two groups with 2n pi. Okay? You don't need to. It's not wrong, but not finished yet. Not simplified. You need to simplify your solution to your teacher. So in the end, I have conclusion for tangent. You can read by yourself. And again, I want to say one more time, the hint. Okay? Formulas for trigonometry function are all different. Don't you memorize one formula and you want to apply to all the three trigonometry functions. That's not possible. And I do not use formulas, but you can use formula if you want. So actually I use reference angle, unit circle, and the concept to solve. And it's very quick and easy. And I show my work on steps by steps detailed work on the homework answer sheet. And when you are doing your own homework, you can consult my work and do it quickly. And the same thing again, if you still have question, you are welcome to go to my office hour and ask question. So thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.